Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan and today I'm going to be doing a sort of like SFX bullet wound. For that I'm just going to be using this Smiffys liquid latex and just some cotton pads. Because this is just sort of for Halloween and things, it's not going to look the most realistic, it's going to be a bit more like theatrical. Just so like if in photos or like when it's dark people can still know what it is. But yeah, I'm just going to get started. So I've got some liquid latex and like a wee pot, and I've got my old sponge. I'm just going to dip my sponge into it and just make a sort of circle shape in the middle of my forehead. Using some of the cotton pads that I've already ripped up, I'm just gonna put that on top of the latex. And then just put some more latex on top of that. And I'm just kind of blending it in to my forehead. So I put a wee bit more latex on that and some more of this. And then again just cover that with latex. And once it's all covered and still quite like wet, I'm just gonna use this to sort of mould it and flatten it. Normally you'd be better off using like an actual metal spatula, but I don't have one, so I'm just using the end of these tweezers. And I'm just gonna pull this out a wee bit to make a kind of hole in the middle. And then just smooth it out a wee bit again and just blend it with my skin, like blend all the edges out. And the circle doesn't need to be perfectly even, else like it'll look kind of red and it'll get covered by things like fake blood and that anyway. I'm just gonna leave this to dry. I might get a hairdryer to dry a bit quicker, but once it's dried I'll come back and put my foundation on. I've already done all my skincare and my primer and that, so I'm just gonna put foundation on the rest of my face while I do that as well. I noticed that while this was drying, I noticed that there were still wee bits that weren't the way that I wanted them to look. So while it's still wet, it means it's still like you can still mould it. So I'm going back and trying to remold the edges of this wound. However, here at these edges it's completely dry, so like I can't change that now. unless I add some more latex. So like for stuff like this, it's really all about just trial and error. So like if you see something you don't like, just kind of try and move it about and see how you feel. Like I prefer this now than what it was like before. It just feels a bit smoother. And hopefully when the makeup and that goes on, it'll look a bit more realistic. So that's my latex completely dry, so I'm just going to go in with my foundation. I'm going to put foundation on the rest of my face. So I'm going to go in with the Maybelline SuperStay 24-hour foundation in the shade light beige. I'm just going to put 2 drops onto my brush. I've already done my skincare, my primer and stuff, so I'm just going to go right in. And I'm just going in over my latex. I'm just going to pat over it quite gently, just so I don't move anything or ruin it. I might need to go over it with a beauty blender because that might make it a bit easier, or just a normal makeup sponge. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go over it with this. I'm just going to put a tiny wee bit onto my sponge. I'm just dabbing the excess off onto my hand. I'm just going to go around the latex and just blend that in. And I'm just building it up slowly. I'm not bothered about getting the foundation on the inside because I'm going to be using some face paints and cream paints in there. I just want to make sure that the outer side is completely covered. I'll quickly do my concealer so that I can powder the rest of my face and powder the latex. So I'm going in with the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate in the shades. I'm going in with the shade C0.3. So for powder, I'm going in with this Revolution Pro translucent powder. So I've just got some on my brush and I'm just going to pat that in. This is more powder than I would normally use on my forehead, but also I just want this to stay put. And then I'll go in with the powder where I would usually put it, like under my eyes. So I'm just going to go and finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll come back again to do the gore. So I've done the rest of my makeup and everything that I've used on my face will be listed down below. And now I'm going to go in with this Revolution Pro SFX face paint palette. So it's just some cream paints. And I'm going to go in with this black here. I'm just going to go in with this. I'm just going to go in with this lip brush just because it's thin. And I'm just gonna put the black right in the center of of the wound, and I'm gonna mix some red into it in a bit as well, but mostly blood and things will be going in, like fake blood will be going in that, so it's fine. I'm gonna go with this red on the edges of the wound, just to make it look a bit more like blood's coming out, and like kind of like the, I don't know, muscle or the inside of the skin, I don't know. But I'm kind of mixing that with the black as well. I'm just making sure every bit is covered. Just like that. To make the skin around it look a little bit irritated, I'm just going to go in with this. I'm just going to go in with this sponge and this kind of darker nude shade, and just pat, like just dab that in, or on, sorry. And just pressing lightly because I don't want to put too much on. Oops. To put more like irritation in that around the skin, I'm going to go in with my James Charles and Morphe palette. I'm going to go in with this shade. Oh god, I don't know how to show you. This shade here. And this one. And just put some like irritation marks around the wound. I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush and just put that around it. And just sort of blend it out so it fades out naturally. To make it a little bit more red, I'm going to go in with the bright red here from James Charles palette as well. I'm just going to go in with the same brush and I'm going to lightly tap it right where the wound kind of starts, because I'm not wanting it to be red all over my forehead. I'm just tapping that on and then slightly buffing it out. I'm going to quickly add some more red into the middle of that, using the same red from my face paint palette, and just mix that in and just bring it up towards the kind of edges. I'm gonna go in with some Scab blood. So I've got this Smiffys Scab blood here, and I'm just gonna try and get some up on the end of my brush, just like that. I don't know if you can see it. Just like that, and then just put that on the inside. Oh god. The Scab blood that I've got isn't really like the best quality, so I find it quite hard to stick where I'm wanting it to. So I'm going to put some like kind of inside and around it. And I'm going to put some kind of thingy around it, and I'm going to use my sponge to kind of blend that in a wee bit. And just kind of press that in. For my fake blood, I've just got this like one from a, I don't know, like probably like a Tesco's or something, or an Asda. And again, I'm just going to go in with the end of this brush and kind of get some and just like drip it on. And then just kind of put some around it. Just kind of rubbing it on a wee bit. And you can just leave it like this, like a bit light, not too gory but still a wee bit thingy, or you can kind of add a wee bit more. So I'm just going to add a wee bit more blood around it, and then again just kind of stuff it in. I'm going to get some on the sponge and just kind of bounce it in. I'm going to get some, I'm going to just pour a little bit on. Oh, that was way too much, but just let it like pour down like that. So I poured a wee bit too much. I'm just going to wipe it off. Now I just need to go over my makeup there, but just let it pour down the middle like that, and it will just dry like that. So yeah, so like you can add maybe a bit more bruising or that around it. I'm just gonna go with the brush with leftover product and just kind of leave it like that. So in the same thing, because it's for Halloween, you can like add whatever you want. This is just a really simple tutorial on how to use like liquid latex. So that's the finished look. It's a really easy like Halloween look, and you can add whatever you want, like you can add contacts or more cuts and things and bruising and that around your face. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. If you could like and subscribe, it would really help and I'd really appreciate it. For Halloween I'm doing like 13 different looks leading up to Halloween, so if you could, so that'll be on my Instagram if you want to give that a follow, and all my other social medias are linked down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.